The conversation that changed the question. When I first sat down with this conversation, I thought I was trying to explain the gray path. Instead, I discovered that I was trying to explain how I learned to trust my own mind again. For a long time, my greatest fear wasn't being wrong. It was fooling myself. Not because imagination is dangerous, but because imagination is powerful. The same mind that can create art can also create certainty where none exists. The same pattern recognition that lets us solve impossible problems can also weave stories that reality never wrote. That realization became the seed of the gray path. Not a belief system, not therapy, not a scientific theory, a methodology, a discipline, a way of asking. What actually happened before asking, what do I think it means? That distinction became the first law. Observation precedes interpretation. As the architecture matured, I realized my mind wasn't one monolithic thing. Different functions were performing different jobs. A rat wasn't a personality, it was observation. It wrote down what happened without trying to rescue me. The weaver wasn't my enemy. It was creativity, and it connected fragments into stories, metaphors, possibilities, and meaning. The steward wasn't skepticism for its own sake. It existed to ask whether the story survived contact with evidence. The latch wasn't certainty. It was the willingness to move forward provisionally, knowing I could revise my understanding tomorrow. The conversation revealed something I hadn't fully articulated before. I never needed to remove the weaver. I needed to change its job. Instead of deciding what reality was, it became responsible for proposing possibilities. The steward stopped asking, "Is this beautiful?" and started asking, "What would change my mind?" That single question protects creativity without imprisoning it. Then another question emerged. How do you hold spirituality inside a framework that values evidence? I realized the answer wasn't to reject spiritual experience. Nor was it to promote every profound experience into objective truths. The answer was classification. An experience can be deeply meaningful without pretending it is scientifically established. A biological experience can be observed. Its mechanism may be investigated scientifically. Its meaning may be interpreted spiritually. These are not enemies. They are different layers of description. The gray path doesn't require collapsing them into one. It asks only that each layer remain honestly labeled. Observation, interpretation, confidence, evidence, revision. Reality still gets the final vote. That doesn't diminish spirituality. It protects it from becoming something it was never meant to be. During this conversation, another realization quietly appeared. The gray path isn't trying to build certainty. It's trying to build corrigibility, a system that can notice when it is drifting. A framework that expects revision instead of fearing it. A map that remains useful precisely because it never mistakes itself for the territory. The Chevelle song became the perfect example. The lyric didn't change. I did. For years I heard, "I've been away forever." The lyric was actually, "I've been awake forever." Neither erased the other. One was the objective observation. The other revealed something about the observer. The song became a calibration instrument, not because it explained reality, because it explained me. Now another transition is arriving. The Chevelle song has served its purpose. Every calibration instrument eventually becomes familiar. Phase 2 isn't abandoning the method. It's finding the next stable object that allows the observer to watch themselves changing. Perhaps that is what the gray path has been becoming all along. Not a system for discovering hidden truths. A system for discovering how I arrive at truth. Not certainty. Calibration. Not perfection. Revision. Not mythology. Governance. Not answers. Better questions. And perhaps that is why this work feels lighter now. The burden was never to prove everything. The burden was simply to know where confidence ends and curiosity begins. That is a burden I can carry, because it leaves room for tomorrow. Questions for phase 2, 1. What stable object, text, practice, or experience can become my next calibration instrument? Not because it changes, but because I do. 2. When I experience something profound, what belongs to observation? What belongs to biological explanation? What belongs to spiritual meaning? And what belongs to mystery? 3. If the gray path is ultimately a discipline for asking better questions, what question would I want someone to carry with them years after they've forgotten every piece of its terminology?
Yeah. So much different to receive your own creation, not read it. No, receive. Let the imagery flood the mind without control. Let the sensations wash over. Don't let the cat's meow annoy you. Well, because you can't even hear it because you're so tapped in to your meditation. This is meditation for a mind that can't sit still, can't be quiet, a body that can't rest. The mind needs to find the meaning, but also be grounded in reality, leaving open mystery, mythology, spirituality. You can hold two things to be true at the same time. And so the gray path and the discipline itself, which will evolve as more people put it into practice. So right now, phase 2 is generalization. Does the framework hold up from people of different backgrounds and cultures? I believe it does, but I need evidence. So if you've experienced the storm of the chaos and the beauty, the mystery that is your mind, for all of its flaws, or however you've been taught to think about your mind and your thoughts and your emotions, your creative architecture. This is a means to free it and find out a different path. Because there are many that overlap. And this is why I have faith, not just belief. It's empirically driven. And I'm a recovering addict. While I'm some days not an addict, sometimes not an addict, other times I find that I am, behaviorally. This is not a judgment, this is just an observation. Not knowing when to put something down. I've been acutely aware of it, well, a long time, but now in the sense that I observe it, I don't judge it, I note it, and then make the conscious decision, albeit sometimes not so conscious, because the pattern, the behavioral pattern wants to repeat, whether it's scrolling, watching content, hell, even wobbling with the music in the playlists. Holy shit. Nobody should spend, well, I'm not going to say that, 6 hours listening to music. Finding meaning in the lyrics you thought you knew. The lyrics, what they are the lyrics to a song you haven't heard in a long time, and the meaning is shifted. Not the meaning, you, the listener, the observer, the scientist, and the mythological creature inside you all. I have a continuation to this letter. Maybe I'll throw up some of the imagery that I've created using AI. That reminds me, maybe my high priestess image. Did ChatGPT jack a style from somebody and just completely make up my high priestess image after them? Or was it just by chance? Or is somehow my information being leaked or exposed? Because it was called the something codex. Well, I've been using that word a lot too. I didn't check out the name of this person. I have it written down. I think I will. Observation before interpretation. So the Weaver is holding these three possibilities in my mind. Hasn't given in to any of them. That's how you remain calm. You can practice not interpreting your initial observation or experience. Well then, no elevated heart rate, no anxiety. It's quite fascinating. Quite awesome.